Good evening, people. Welcome to the OCC for a very fun matchup today. We have Void going up against the Game of Throws. Very interesting match we got going on today. I am your play-by-play commentator for tonight. My name is Davion, and joined with me is Megalas doing the color commentary. How you doing today?
Doing just fine. I'm excited to see what these teams are presenting to us right here at the beginning of the season, and hopefully it's going to be a swell, entertaining match.
Yeah, and we don't really know what to expect because nothing's really been played out from either team, but I'm very excited to see what we have in place here today. But let's talk about the starting lineups while we're here. Today we got going on the Void. We're gonna start off with on tanks. We have Showdown Shane, Dire Raven. On DPS, we got Monkey Fly and Levio Flight. And on heals, we have Mira Lee. I asked how to pronounce that name before stream, so I made sure I didn't screw it up. And Mistress.
Yes, indeed. And over on the other side on Game of Throws for the starting lineup, we're looking at Darius and Stress to be taking the tank roles, Sway, and what was the pronunciation on Wiz again?
Wheezy.
That's what it was. My memory is great. And they're going to be on your DPS, and then Serith and TGE are pulling up the support line. I mean, the only thing we can really expect, not right now, not expect, is Reinhardt, Widowmaker, McCree, and Brig.
Yeah, that's it. We don't know exactly what comps we're gonna be working out with today. I mean, we are gonna probably see a lot of double shield just because that's kind of what we saw in Owl and in other competitions. That's what we were seeing. Echo's legal, so that's gonna be fun. I expect some Echo here, but we'll see what the teams decide to do because it is definitely map based. And for the map pool tonight, we have Nepal, Kings Row, Rialto, Hanamura, and Lijiang. So definitely excited for this matchup today.
Yes, indeed. And as you mentioned, we are starting out on Nepal, which we haven't started just quite yet, making sure our teams are all good in situation. But Koth is always the interesting one because you can switch it up, especially if you're looking at Nepal Village. You see a lot of Mei played there even before she was meta, just because of the usage of the wall on the point.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, it's just going to be very interesting, especially as we go through the points. Possibly we can see some Wrecking Ball come out once we've moved to the Sanctum. And any strategies these teams could also have cooked up. It could be really insane.
Yeah, I definitely am excited to see the type of comps that the teams decide to put together. Only because there is so much diversity, especially with hero pools. No Reinhardt, no Brig, no Widow, no McCree. Pharah might be able to run a little rampant because you don't have that consistent DPS. I mean, Soldier's there, but McCree is usually the one to handle that. So pretty excited for this matchup. Definitely excited. I'm a big Pharah. I love Pharah. Pharah's one of my favorite heroes. I love me some Rein. So very excited to get into this game and see where it takes us. And yes, it looks like our teams are ready to go, ? There we are.
Yes, indeed. We just had to hit that lovely little start button. And, I mean, yeah, like you were saying, I guess Ashe is an option, but it's one of those things where it's not the most reliable hit skin in the world. And it seems we are starting on the Sanctum here, so this is where we can see that Pharah play just because she can sit really high up in the sky. But there's also a lot of positions a soldier can take, as you were mentioning. And of course, there's probably prevalent Echo, just kind of coming in, destroying shields, still kind of testing her out, seeing what she can do.
Yeah, I think we're gonna see some interesting comps. I'm not sure, especially this map here. You're gonna definitely see the Orisa Sig. I mean, Wrecking Ball is an option, but I definitely see more teams are gonna be probably playing Orisa Sig. Oh, maybe a Roadhog. Maybe a Roadhog. We see some legs. We see some Ashe. Let's see if the teams decide to stay on this. As immediately as I say we see Ashe, we see Doomfist, and then a Reaper. They're just playing with me at this point. Alright.
Alrighty. And I mean, Echo only pulled up for one team right now, but they also have the Roadhog over on the side of Game of Throws. And I'm very curious as to what value this Roadhog is going to be able to get. Possibly just hooks into the pit of no return. But the Sigma on the other side is going to provide so much more shielding, so much more utility to the team. If those picks don't come through, it could spell disaster all the time.
Yeah, so far we see a big sleep from Game of Throws, and immediately Sway demolishes Monkey Flies. They're gonna try to res that off. But, you know, Game of Thrones just has point control right now. Farah is pouring in that damage, so pretty hot right now. Seriath is getting really low as well. That Roadhog is taking a lot of damage in there, and Arisa as well. Game of Thrones is down, and Arisa, Darius Bolton is taken out. The Mistress and Shane and Merrily go right after him, but Monkey Fly is still getting fixed there. It looks like this is a lost fight for Void, but this Farah's still in the fight, as there she goes. Sigma's still on point, and after a little bit of cleanup here, that'll be the end of that fight. Quick point take for Game of Thrones.
I think that opening sleep that you pointed out onto Monkey Fly was really huge because it allowed the entirety of the Game of Thrones to take position. As the Reaper gets picked here, kind of entering in a lot.
Immediately, as we're seeing this Echo get a lot of value, and honestly, the Roadhog getting a lot of value. Already has ultimate, and it has the only ultimate online right now.
Hey, listen, when you can just take that lemonade, it's always a good time when you're Roadhog. Build that ult quickly.
And there we go. There's that ultimate going in, and they find two very quickly as both tanks are down. Whole Reaper right back in, and another tap off of a Monkey Fly does find Sway, and again, that's just another lost fight for Void. Have to back up.
Indeed, but critical about that is the fact that all that was thrown into that fight for Void, or for Game of Thrones rather, was that whole hog. Everything else coming up online or is online, and so this barrage might have to put in a lot of work here.
Yeah, and we see switches from Void. They go to a Roadhog off of Sigma and a Hanzo off of the Reaper. But we're not seeing much here, just a little bit of poke damage. Monkey Fly is getting some big damage in the backline there. Is finding some targets. She switches, and the Echo uses ult to switch it to Farah. Darius Bolton immediately goes down. She pops up, and then she pops up. Monkey Fly by 3, Sway by 4! Some parading barrages as the Bears are dueling on point. We're just gonna see the Echo copy the bed. We just see two Bears just sitting on point. Monkey Fly looks like winning, but Sway immediately gets changed. Trying to find the win off of it. And Sway and Monkey Fly are just solo fighting each other. Monkey Fly actually gets the dub. Now the reinforcements come in for Game of Thrones, but Void also has the reinforcements. What an exchange of ultimates there from the team. We're seeing a supercharger go down from Shane and a nearly popular Valkyrie, as it looks like Void is actually finding the kill. Stress goes down, Serious goes down, Darius Bolton does go down, and they are going to get a key retake, and you said it best, the barrage key.
Yes, indeed. The barrage was key for both teams somehow, especially with the Echo duplicate. And now you're going to be looking forward towards the next fight if you're Void, because you are back against the wall already at 99% for Game of Thrones. This whole hog could be huge. You have barrage built up again, as well as a Dragon Strike coming online. But on the other side, Seriath has that counter and everything, and also the tactical device.
Dire Raven actually does find Wheezy, so that Ana's dead. I think it's the dead push immediately as Arisa goes down as well. They do look in the hog, find the hog. Stress is just playing extremely well on this Roadhog, getting a lot of value off of it. They will res the Arisa though, and yeah, quick lost fight for Stress. Nothing poured into it though. Dire used whole hog, but that's about it. So it looks like the Game of Thrones is trying to push in here off the off angle. They are advancing, pull in there. There's a Dragon Strike, and it does find Sway and Serious. There goes the Visor. That's the name of the freaking ultimate. TD finds Monkey Fly and trying to find another one. And Stress also pulls out his ult. Mistress goes down as well. We're even right now, 2 apiece. Stress finds Dire Raven, so now they're down. Shane goes down. It's just Mercy and Hanzo left on point for Void. And now it's overtime. Levi's fight's gonna fall in, and he's gonna immediately get demolished. Monkey Fly's trying to come in on the Farah with the ultimate. Can't find it, and that is the end of our first round here.
Yes, indeed. Well fought, but unfortunately, when a team is able to tick up to 99% like that, as Game of Thrones did, it's only a matter of time. They just can save ults, they can run fights back and forth, and they were able to secure it, but we are moving on to our next round, and this is the Sanctuary, I believe it's called. I could be incorrect on that, but
I'm gonna be honest, in Scrim World, we just call it the one with the big pole in the middle.
you know what? That is absolutely fair. There is indeed a pillar of some kind in the middle of the map.
it looks like we're gonna see our first real meta-ish comp coming out from Void. Is they're gonna play Mei, Reaper, Moira, Mercy still though, no Pharah, but they're gonna stay the Mercy. We're gonna see the same comp coming out from Game of Thrones though, and then I always follow. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Definitely, especially with the Echo play, they were getting huge value. As the shields are pretty much going to meet at a duel in the mid.
Yep, here we go. Big pull fire strike coming in as Levi's trying to find a flank here. Doesn't find much. There's the wall. TG's really low. He goes down immediately. So does Darius. Big wall from the maze. Levi does go down, but they already won the fight, so that's okay in my book. This Roadhog has caused so much issue, staying on point way longer than he needed to be. But hey, they found Wheezy at the end of there, and looks like they got a quick team fight in for Void.
Yes, indeed, and they're already taking up almost at that gravitic flux. Raven really put in a lot of work there. And now the issue becomes, if you're Game of Thrones, how are you going to counter this Mei? Anything you move in with, you're going to get walled pretty easily unless Sway on the Echo can go in, get a quick pick. Seems like they're going to be switching over to a Sigma of their own as well as a Reaper, so potentially just trying to brawl with them and use the Echo damage to kill Mei.
Yeah, it's a pretty good idea. They did knock down that Ana there real quick with the accretion, but not finding much value. Sway on the flank gets a lot of damage put in. 80% already to the duplication. There goes Raven's ult. Actually finds both tanks. No ults to help out on it, and Orisa immediately drops to that. Reaper's still on point. They're just gonna, looks like they're just gonna back out of this fight and fight another day. They can't win without that Orisa. And TGE also goes down right at the end there.
Yes,
there goes Darius. Sorry.
No, it's perfectly okay. I mean, it becomes another issue of Void only used one ultimate to win that fight, so nothing else was burned. But at the same time, by disengaging quickly, Game of Thrones didn't feed a whole lot over. Sure, there's a Blizzard to worry about on the side, as well as a Supercharger and a Coalescence. But if you can go in fast, possibly duplicate onto another tank, give yourself an extra barrier, it could be an easy fight.
We're gonna duplicate onto that Sigma there, I think. She's gonna duplicate into Moira. Interesting choice. Maybe to get a couple ults in there, but Stressed immediately goes down without the Gravitic Flux. They don't even use freeze here. They don't really use anything but the Moira ult. They pop Ana ult as well. They have 90%. This is the last fight here. They have to fight this on Game of Thrones. They have to take this fight. I feel like duplication was wasted. They're just not going to get another opportunity. They're just staggering in. Lucio, Moira, or Ana is all that's left on point. Sway's coming in. There's the Gravitic Flux. Wheezy goes down very quickly. They pop ults as well. Slam down nearly as low, but no, it doesn't happen. The freeze pops off. Nobody's dying. Everyone's just staying put. There goes Sarius. There goes Sway. There goes Stress. All the S's go down, and Darius goes right after. Reaper heads up the point with GG, and Levi just solo ults him, doesn't find the kill, but Monkey finishes it off, and that is that for round number 2. As we're gonna go to a round 3 here on the first map.
Yes, indeed. And with Stellar Mei play coming out from Monkey Fly, you have to be worried about going into Village. I mean, this is, once again, one of those maps where Mei is just so good because her wall can cover off an entire section of the point, denying the entire entrance. But also, you're seeing the difference in styles between these teams. You're having Void go for much heavier sustain with Mei, Ana, as well as Moira, whereas there's more of a speed boost kind of attempt from the side of Game of Thrones with the Lucio, and I'm not sure if it's yielding the results they want right now.
Yeah, I definitely like the Lucio comp just a little bit more, but they did lose. They lost that map, so maybe they want to adjust. They find out they want to use a Mei of their own for this map. It looks like they're going to go more traditional, except without a Sigma. So Lucio, Moira is that big one right there that I'm looking at.
But the Roadhog is going to give you more damage output, which probably break the shield a whole lot quicker, which is something you want. And they get purchase on the point first, which is pretty huge, as long as they can...
Especially with the Mei.
Exactly.
There goes the Mei. Well, actually gets a pretty good Mei wall in there to help engage, but they just wall off to disengage. Reaper is on the flank here. Doesn't find anything. Point control immediately goes to Game of Thrones. Huge play from them. Sway is anti though, it's very low. Trying to engage there, does find the heals, does find able to reduce themselves, keep them up, and nobody's going down. TGE actually does get killed, and so does Darius. So this point control was all for naught. They got first point control, getting a little bit of percentage, but it looks like they're gonna lose this fight. Sway and Stress immediately go down along with Sariath, and that is that on that fight. Finding 20% on the point. So it's a good thing that they capped immediately because they immediately lost that fight.
Yes, indeed. When your Ana goes down, if your Game of Throws, even with point control, there's got to be some kind of signal to retreat, and there just wasn't. They were collapsed on slowly but surely by the Mei and the Sigma on the other side. And I mean, Dire Raven on the Sigma has been putting out phenomenal amounts of damage. I mean, building Gravitic Fluxes extremely quickly and just getting kills right.
And we're seeing the engage here. Big rocks and fall back. Huge anti there. TG goes down and so does Wheezy, and that is that for that fight. This entire team is very close to down. Seraph and Stress immediately go down. And that is, I think that's another lost fight. As that's a team kill almost. Yeah, there it is.
And while the Supercharger,
the good announcer voice. That's all it was.
yes, indeed. The Supercharger was used there, but as you said, the anti from the Ana was just absolutely massive. It pretty much won the fight single-handedly, and now there's still 5 ultimates for Void. Meanwhile, if you're looking at the other side, is it just gonna have to be another eco mode?
They do switch over to a Pharaoh with no mercy, so we'll see how Sway adjusts to that. Definitely surprised that you choose Pharaoh over Echo here, but hey, we'll see how it goes. Oh, a quick! Levi tried to go in for the flank and was immediately shut down by the Roadhog. They're down on person. Roadhog gets boosted and down to Sigma. There's the freeze. The beat comes out from the TG is frozen on point by himself. TG goes down. Actions like an engager that would have helped gets immediately shut down by a Mayo. Stress finds Shane. Bolton and Weezy also go down. The Seraph goes down. Sway goes down. It's just Stressed on point against 5 from Void. Can't do it on his own. And there's 90% on all. Are they going to be able to touch here? They switch over to the staggering. There's a Ball. There's a Genji. There's a Moira. They almost have Barrage. They switch over to the D.Va as well. They get walled up. They're just not going to make it. No, they do touch! Ball does get on point. They are coming up on the barrel, so maybe we can get something. Ball was slipped on point, immediately stepped down. Lucio's able to touch. They're all just going down slowly but surely. Weezy is able to touch. Bear is just trying to find a good place to ult. Coming all the way around, potentially find an amazing hero play here. Pop ult, doesn't get anything, it's immediately a creation on it. Lucky finds 2, and that's that Void. Good showing from Void on the last 2 points there.
Yes, indeed. After Sanctum, it kind of looked not really one-sided, but it definitely looked in the favor of Game of Thrones. But I mean, the turning around, the Dire Raven on the Sigma, as well as the Mei play, just really coming up huge for this team on Void, as they will go up 1-0 in this series. I mean, it always feels good to get that extra, and we're just seeing the play of the game, all of the barrage kills in the kill feed.
You know, after taking a second look at that play, that Orisa is having a really good time. Really good pulls from that Orisa. And as a main tank player, I know that goes unnoticed a lot. So that's definitely recognition for that Orisa. That was a huge pull, pulling everyone into the barrage, just able to just line it up and knock them all down.
I mean, absolutely. And I mean, if you're looking forward towards our next map, which as long as I'm not mistaken, is going to be King's Row, what could be, I guess, the improved upon strategy? Like, is there a counter to this Mei play? Do they try to lean into the Echo more?
I think that their Echo is getting extreme value, and especially with the shields that are there, I honestly wouldn't, if they are comfortable on Echo, I wouldn't be surprised if they try to come out with maybe like a sim or something to help break that. And especially on King's Row, where you have just a lot of quick movement, especially on that map where you're just running in, trying to get as much damage out as possible. Or we might even see the Pharah again, and both teams seem pretty comfortable on Pharah, so let's see how that goes.
I mean, yeah, when a lot of hit scan gets taken out of the game, Pharah does get her moments to shine. It truly is good. But I mean, at the same time, not all was really lost there for Game of Thrones. Even on rounds where they weren't exactly able to get onto the point, they still showed that they could get pick potential. It's just a matter of they got out sustained, and they need to find a way to counter that.
Yeah, not quite sure what they're going to come out in, but I think they're going to adjust very well. And I think this is going to be an interesting map, because that map, the map we just witnessed, wasn't as one-sided as it felt. I think there was a lot of positive out there from Game of Thrones. They did take the first map. I also think they needed to switch off the Roadhog a little sooner. I think like the Roadhog was getting good value, really good hooks on the first point there, but couldn't do much more after that. So I think their Roadhog getting more value on a Sigma might be a little bit better for them. So we'll see how it goes. But the Roadhog by no means was playing terrible. Stress was doing a very good job on the Hog. I think we just need a little more oomph. I think that think that's what Sigma brings to the table. Because Raven was just getting outstanding value off of it.
Absolutely, and we do just have swaps coming through here, so that's why it is taking just a moment in between maps. And I mean, we can go over these swaps actually. So we have Seraph and Sway coming out for Game of Thrones, and Sinks and Crazy Lady coming in. And then on the side of Void, we have Helix to Cat coming in for Miralay. And I don't know, is it potentially a strategy set for this specific map with these hero swaps, or is it something more?
Well, we'll see. We'll just see what they want to bring out because we did see a DPS and a support get changed out for Void. So I believe there was a change for the other team as well. There was
Yeah, there was changes. So there's one change for Void, and then there was 2 changes for Game of Thrones. It was just the matter of making sure.
Oh, it was Oh, I see. So Sinks got put in. So we have a DPS change there because Sway was on DPS, and a support change if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
There we go.
Yes,
A little
indeed.
confusing there, but hey, we got it handled.
Yes, indeed. I mean, and all these players, it just shows their flexibility as well. I mean, being able to swap between roles. One map they might play support, one map you go over damage or something like that, and it really just depends on what you're feeling in the moment.
Yeah,
flexibility becomes the name of the game.
Yeah, that's what's the glory of Overwatch is that switch option. Because if you can switch heroes and be flexible on another hero to counter other heroes, and the other team just cannot switch, I think that benefits you so much. But I think we're gonna get into King's Row here very shortly. Very excited to see this map. I'm very much enjoying this game so far. So we have a 1-0 lead for Void going into map number 2.
Yes, indeed. But at the end of the day, I mean, we've all seen teams win KOF and then go on to just absolutely get snowballed every other point. So 1-0, sure, it does matter because you always want those maps, but at the same time, we could really see teams start to prove themselves. Possibly, they switched in their real lineups now. Now everybody's really trying on the server. But I think it is going to be that Sigma play that you were talking about. I think Stressed is going to have to give up the Hog, especially here on Kings, just because there's not as many angles for you to get hooks in, because really, if you're not getting hooks and getting guaranteed kills, Hog loses so much value. You feed over ult charge. You don't really have a lot of other abilities to help you.
Yeah, so we'll see what they decide to bring out here. As what I see right now, we're seeing TG really liking this soldier, and we are going to see Stress move over to the Sigma. So we'll see how this Sigma play goes.
Well, the plus side is they are in the attacker spawn, so, if they want to, they still have 20 seconds to switch, but our defenders, they're unfortunately locked in, and Levi of Light is actually locked into the Ashe right now, which I think is really surprising, but there's a lot of high ground control you can take with it, and since Widowmaker's not in the game, it's probably your next best option.
Ever since the LA Valiant played it, you've been seeing a lot of Ashe play lately. So we'll see how this goes.
Absolutely. And it does look like they're rolling out on that Sigma and Soldier that you were talking about, but both teams now have Moira Ana for that extra long sustain.
Yeah, we'll see how this goes. Big pull there, doesn't get much out of it, but hey, that was a good pull, getting a couple people in there while Sigma's shield goes down. I like the Orisa play from Shane. This Orisa is being played very well from Shane. Raven gets pulled back in immediately, gets shielded away, doesn't get much out of it though. She does get away safe. GGE does have control of the high ground here though. We're just seeing a little bit of poke here, poke war in the open, and Levi gets picked off by TGE. Great pick off there, big wall, actually walls off, and Darius Fulton gets picked off as well. Stress goes down as well. So I think it's an immediately lost fight, even though they got a pick there off the Ashe. Not really exchanged for both the tanks. They're just gonna back out, recontest another day. But TGE is still just sitting on the high ground, not being contested whatsoever.
Yes, indeed, but Levi on the other side, seeming to take the challenge, decided to switch to the Soldier themselves, possibly just to get back to the point quicker, as a huge anti comes in. I don't think there's any way to follow up on it. That was a 4-man purple from Helix. I mean, we're seeing some great Ana play tonight.
We are. I like the big anti-nades that have been coming out. A again, these underrated plays are not going unnoticed, even though they're not in the kill. Like another one, another baller, man. Get Wheezy off of that. Helix does get picked off too, so we exchanged on us, but Stress also goes down by Levi. Levi decides to find Sinks as well, picking off two big. Just Helix. Levi gets a third out of that. The switch over to legs is very beneficial. I have to say though, Helix is playing phenomenal on this Ana, getting a lot of value with anti.
Yes, indeed. I mean, it truly just shows the value of that character. You know, a lot of people always like to rag on the fact that she doesn't have a lot of mobility or anything like that, but those anti-nades are truly massive, especially in this team environment. You don't really see it as much in the ladder, but here when everybody's actually coordinated and trying, as we're seeing a little bit of a wraparound here from Game of Thrones.
High ground, yeah, interesting. Let's see how it goes. They get immediately walled off, so we'll see how this goes. I don't think it's going to matter too much. TG is already on the other side as they pull and fall into low ground. Not much comes out of the accretion. They're just going to go straight to the point. TG wrapping all the way around. Gets Nano Visor's coming out. Helix goes down. Trying to find a couple picks in that backline, but it's going to get immediately frozen and murdered. But does find both supports, which is the play, and we decide to commit Biofreeze to it. Both tanks are frozen on point. Can we get anything out of this? Probably not. So I think that was just a wasted ult there.
Unfortunately, I mean, it's one of those things where when you're down a player or two, you do believe Blizzard can come back. So I think the intent was there for Monkey to help, but unfortunately, even with the Blizzard, you couldn't push back in. There was too much presence from the tanks on the other side, Darius and Stress. And now look at this. They only use Nanovisor to take the point for the side of Game of Thrones. Granted, there's still quite a bank of ultimates to avoid. I think this is about to get very messy, very quick here in the beginning of the street phase.
Yeah, let's see how this goes. We have Nanovisor ready on the side of Void. Maybe they'll pop that off. Maybe try to find a nice little flank here. We'll see how it goes. There we go. Raven pops off with that ult immediately. Slams down, but they just let him go down. They have a support ult. Why didn't they use it? Maybe just trying to see what... I think they're just trying to take a drive-by here. And I mean, honestly, not a bad idea. Forced out a couple ults there.
Absolutely. I mean, maybe you went into that knowing both sides had a bunch of ultimates, so you lose that fight just to be able to push into the next one, guaranteeing that you'll come in with an advantage. But at the same time, Moira ult, it's not the sustain ult that you would want. It's nothing like a beat drop or a transcendence that can keep everybody up. It's more of just being able to spam single heal target as there's a flank coming through from Game of Thrones on the back.
Yeah, I don't think they know it. There's Stress with ult. Pop multiple ults there. Immediately Raven goes down. Helix follows. And this is a great play from Game of Thrones as they are able to just roll over the team. Again, another late ult from Mistress. I don't think that is going to get any value there. Coalescence comes out from Mistress, and now they're down both support ults. And Crazy Lady has hers for the side of Game of Thrones. Big flank from Game of Thrones. And they still have Freeze as well. The other side only has Visor.
Visor coming up on Freeze themselves, actually. And I mean, you throw Cole in there, while it didn't work out, you were able to throw it out. It's cold, you build it quickly. But now the bomb goes out extremely early.
We'll see it. Shane they're trying to retake this. They use Visor bongos. We'll see how this works out for him. As they're actually finding some targets here. Getting a lot of damage poured in, but Lady's able to keep everyone away. But that's a 5-man anti to the side. Game of Thrones, and there's the freeze in from Six, I mean, and they both blow out freezes. Cobra again, the entire teams are just frozen here. Everyone's just sitting there frozen, and we have Void coming in and deciding to finally get some picks off there and stop that push at a standstill. A minute left remaining on this point.
Yeah, and this is the part of King's Row you don't want to get caught in, because it is so defender favored at this point. Unless you're getting pretty much a guaranteed 4K in killing the defenders off, they're gonna be able to sustain out. They have the angles here, as well as the ultimates. I mean, Dire Raven built up to another Gravitic Flux. Mistress has the Coalescence online. Meanwhile, on the other side, TG could come in with another Nano Visor and completely demolish everything.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. It broke the point open last time. Point one, we'll see how it goes this time as the fight is getting started. Darius is actually walled off completely. Not going to be able to get out of that. There is the coalescence. There actually gets away because the boop up in the air. The flank here finds Levi. Trying to find another. Can't find another right now as they're very focused on him. The front line is just able to come in and kill Helix on Lucio. They're so focused on the Ana soldier in the back. Raven is, and they're not able to find anything. They find Ana. We should go down, but here comes TGE coming back into the back line. Shaden gets picked off. Monkey gets picked off. It's just Raven left on the point. And it looks like Game of Thrones is going to be able to cap this second point. Another minute and a half into the bank to try to get this third one cracked open.
And while the Nanovisor technically only got one kill, it was simply the presence. I mean, it forced the side of Void to split themselves in half. Half the team went to deal with it, the other half on cart, and the collapse was there for Game of Thrones to take advantage. Now, with a little over a minute, pushing into C, they're going to have both engagement and a coalescence.
Yeah, we're seeing a early Gravitic Flux slam down right onto TG. T goes down very quickly. Stress gets followed up. Raven is finding a lot of value on the Sigma.
I mean, absolutely. I mean, been trying to highlight it all night. It's just ridiculous. The mechanical skill that somebody can have on this role. I mean, building a Gravitic Flux almost every fight, which you don't really hear of. Meanwhile, a Stagger Pit comes out. I guess Lucio decided that he wanted to participate in the kill feed, so he's there.
Helix has been playing very well all night. Getting very... it was on the Ana earlier. They just have finding so much value against the enemy team. Along with Weezy, honestly, finding a lot of value as well. Ana, there's Stress. Hits a big Gravitic Flux. Hits all four, but there's a big beat coming right out, and they actually find him with the fridge. There goes the Visor. It finds 3. They get a quick team wipe with 5 seconds left. They left Freeze, and they left Cole on the board. They're not going to get back to a point, and we're just 2 points for Void.
2 points, and they didn't get extremely far into C, which is a bit of a worrying moment, but at the same time, Kings Row is a map where first point holds are possible, second point holds, if you get them at the right point, are possible, so it's not out of the mind that this map isn't completely lost yet. It just depends on what these teams are going to run going forward, and I think potentially we might have to see a switch up from the soldiers. While they were getting value, I'm not sure if that diversion tactic is going to work on defense as well as it did on offense.
Yeah, I think TGE was getting a lot... No, Levi. Levi was attacking this. No, it was TGE. I was right.
Yeah, it was TGE. Yes.
TGE was getting a lot of value off of Soldier. Strictly because they were the presence, like on the to crack the second point open, popped Tac Visor, had the Nano Visor again. But the thing is that, yes, got a pick, but half the team went to the other side. 3 members went to go deal with the Ana and the Soldier that they just left Orisa and Lucio to die. And it was interesting to see. So we're going to see some interesting comps here. We see a Mercy actually from Weezy this time, no Ana. And are we going to see Monkey Sigma? Or are we just going to see a quick bubble for this Ashe?
I mean, potentially, that's probably what's going to go down, and then we're going to have 2 switches. But one can hope for Winston play, especially me, but the Winston's already dropping back in spawn.
Yep, and there's the bubble broken, switching off right now.
Unfortunate. One day, Winston will be played again. You will see it.
We're going to see Ashe Mercy, so that's an interesting comp here. I like this. Mistress is very low, very early. One tick of health there. It does get healed up very quickly. Shane's already seen half health go down. That's fine. Darius actually goes down very quickly. That health bar dropped significantly. They're going for the res. They actually get it off. Dire Raven tried to avoid it, but could not help out. Meets their own fate. Levi actually gets CGE out of this. We have a 5-on-5 fight here. Ooh, let's see what happens out of this. We're going to see a 6-on-5 here very shortly. Soldier should be coming back. Sphinx goes down very early. Monkey Fly does find that. They have the numbers advantage. They're just not pushing here. There's the pull. They were waiting for the wall, it seems like. An interesting wall off there. Don't see much happening here. As we're just seeing some 2 staggers. A Cole pops off. As we're just trying to wait for... There's Bob! Bob actually comes in behind the wall. Is actually finding big damage off on the team. Finds Darius. Stress goes down. Pro takes down for the side of Void. They're going up for the res. Mercy goes down with him. Weezy does not have the option to. TGE is trying to do something on Soldier. The only one contesting meets his fate of death. And we have a quick half here from Void.
And see, now you're starting to see the bit of difference between the compositions here. While it is just the minor difference of Ashe for Soldier, the Ashe is able to put in so much damage combined with the dynamite damage boost as well as the headshots guaranteeing, as there still is just a fight going on. Stagger picks coming through.
Yeah, Braven actually is picked off, but not able to find the res actually. No res there. They actually wanted to contest this very early. Darius goes down there somehow. Gets res immediately. Monkey's trying to go in and get something going. We see ults here. Are they going to see ults used or not? There's the dynamite. Stress actually pops up with rabbinic blood size. 3 people. Doesn't get anything out of it though. There's Bongo's dropped from Darius and a visor with a wall going up right in front of it. Shane gets picked off by the visor. Visor's just pouring in so much damage. They're going to have to retreat as Helix also goes down there. Yeah, Ministers finds their fate. Levi's going down, and that's the end of that fight. But I don't think that's a bad fight for Void. They took the fight very early to them, actually forced out 3 ultimates out of that. All that's left is a freeze for Game of Thrones.
Yes, but at the same time, I think we just need to highlight the damage that TGE was putting out there. Bongos combined with a Mercy damage boost onto a visor, and as we're seeing Void do the same flank.
Yeah, here we are. Void's coming in. There's the freeze. They're gonna find Wheezy in this. Wheezy goes down. Stress goes up and goes down immediately. Shane finds himself 3 kills. There's the freeze. They're already down. So Coalescence is there for more to help keep the team alive through the freeze. Things go down. Darius finds bait. Levi actually gets picked off by TG, but actually exchanged with the dynamite kill. And that's a big wipe here for Void as they're trying to crack this point open. 3 minutes, 15 seconds left in the bank, and they're almost to point number 2. Halfway there.
And I mean, once the fight happens here at the end of point 2, they're going to have a Gravitic Flux as well as a Bob. The only thing on the other side is this Coalescence, so Crazy Lady, you're going to have to do some magic here, or there's going to be a magic pick happening as the Flux starts.
Here we go. It's out from Raven. Slams down a couple. Monkey actually is picked up there. Darius goes down immediately. They don't have a reason for the fight. Sigma comes to point. Trying to contest. Immediately goes down. I think they just need to back away and try to take this fight to that in there. Raven actually gets picked off, so that is really, really good for Game of Thrones as they're trying to do something here at the end of this.
Yeah, unfortunately, I mean, we're looking at the final fight. You see that yellow box of victory. That's all Void has to push to, as everyone's surging back onto the cart now.
Yep, there it is. That's a huge walled off. Shane is immediately picked off along with Helix, and I think they won this. Levi actually gets in the back line, trying to find a pick, can't find anyone, and gets out using his shift ability. Doesn't get out. Sphinx actually gets him down. 3.5 minutes to cap this point. We're a mere 10-15 meters away from the end of this game.
Absolutely. And it's absolutely ridiculous, but they do have the ult economy to sustain a few fight throws. So if your voice hates these few fights, you go push it as you initiate.
Here we are. There's the Coalescence coming out from Void, trying to find something. We have 6 ults from the side of Game of Thrones. They need to throw some stuff in there. There's the freeze. They threw in the bongos. I didn't mean to use all your ults, but hey, they're all going in. Trying to keep this fight alive. Felix did use the only ult that they had in the bong and a beat. They do find all kills here. All that's left is Stress Stole out of all that fighting.
And I mean, that's exactly what you want if you're Void. I mean, throwing 4 ults into a single fight, they needed to rotate their ult economy a little bit better, but they're still holding on. 2 minutes 40 seconds on the clock, counting down.
They used 5 ults.
Yes, because they just started Bongo.
Yeah. But they do have Stress Ult, which is probably going to go out right here, as I thought. There it is. Finding multiple people. Slams down and finds Raven and Helix. They're holding here. Levi does find Darius still. Such a huge kickoff. Monkey goes down. Levi goes down. They're going to find Shane. And again, 2 minutes. They've knocked 2 minutes off the clock. Darius is going to get up. They're not going to try to speed him back. And this cart just keeps pushing back.
Yes, indeed. But this is where it gets definitely terrifying. You have nothing built up. Your closest is Sync 75 to that May Blizzard. On the other side, you're dealing with both tank ultimates. DPS ultimates are going to be online as well. And I mean,
there it is. Raven immediately slams down. Doesn't get anything out of it though. Very surprising. There's the Mayo. Stress is in the back line because of it. Lady goes down. So that Stress goes down. Pop going back on finds Sinks and Wheezy. Levi actually goes down, and TG is left alive. TG goes down, and there's only one person left alive. It is the Orisa. Darius with 1 HP. Can't do anything. Gets immediately put down, and Void wins map number 2 here.
Victory.
And unfortunately, it was just the ult economy. Void knew to just bank up, lose fights. I mean, there was still almost 4 minutes going into point C, and you were able to burn 2.5 minutes off the clock there. So you tried your best, but you're now down 0-2 if you're Game of Thrones. Something has to give at the half here.
Yeah, I think what could have won them that map though was ult economy. Honestly, if they didn't pop all 5 ults at that 5 of their 6 ultimates in that one fight to win it, the other team had no ults. So that was best case scenario for Void. Really, maybe realizing that they used all those ults might have actually won them that map. They were 1.5 minutes away from actually succeeding, and they could have done it, honestly.
I mean, yeah, it's just so close, but yet so far. But at the same time, even without the ult economy thing, they showed that they can push this team to the edge. They showed they can fight with the big boys. And I mean, a reverse sweep, you know, it's definitely not out of the woodworks. It's not anything foreign to us here.
Well, it's very foreign to me. Imagine if my first game casted is a reverse sweep. That would be wild. But we're going to go into the half, I believe, now. So we will catch you guys after the halftime break. Go get up, use the bathroom, get yourself some water, some popcorn. I think we're in for a good show for the rest of this game.
Yes, indeed. And then we'll see you at the other side of the break.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to OCC, and we are on to the second half of this awesome match. We have Void versus Game of Thrones. Void is up 2-0, and yes, chat, we hear you, we see you. The scoreboard will be fixed. It'll be fixed for the next match. We promise. We're sorry, chat, but we are ready to start this second half. We will be kicking things off in Rialto. One of my favorite maps in this whole game. I'm not gonna lie to you, it's one of my favorites. So, Mega, what's your input on this second half? What do you expect from these teams?
I mean, both teams have made some substitutions. Just to quickly go over, we've had Mistress come out of the lineup, Amira Lee come back in, and Lorax for the first time being subbed in for Levi of Light, because Levi of Light actually just is gone. Like, there's no more substituting because out of the lobby. Meanwhile, on the side of Game of Thrones, we've had Sway come back in for Sinks and Crazy Lady come out for Seraph. So,
sorry, keep going. I apologize.
No, it's all good. Looking into Rialto, it's just, I don't know.
It's an interesting map. I did want to point out though that Miralee and Helix did not play the first map together. It was Miralee and Mistress, wasn't it? Helix came in for Miralee. So this is going to be interesting. Mistress was the Moira player. Are we going to see some like Lucio Ana, Mercy Ana, Mercy Lucio? We're going to see some. I don't think we're going to see this Moira because Mistress has been keen on that Moira. So we're going to see some. I think we're going to see some interesting comps here.
Yes, indeed. I mean, at the same time, it could just be showing the flexibility that Void has. Maybe they're trying to flex their muscles early here, already out to that 2-0 lead, as we said. But, you know, maybe showing that they can just sub in whoever from their lineup and they can make it work.
Yeah, very excited to see this second half of this. But hopefully these teams are ready, good to go. I'm having a good time. Hope everyone else is having a good time. And we'll see. I think Game of Thrones, this might be the time to come back map. I think they recognize what they have to do, getting some coaching in and ready to go for this map 3.
Yep, definitely. I mean, as you were talking about in the last map, Kings Row, they pretty much lost at the very end just because they lost track of Old Economy for just a moment. But other than that, they were doing extremely well. So, I mean, it's definitely nothing out of the ordinary to see this comeback happen right now. And I believe I've gotten ready for both teams, so I'm going to go ahead and click start, and we're going to get right into it. Now, Rialto, unfortunately, we won't be seeing any super crazy things, but this is a map where you can kind of run that Roadhog again. You can get the picks on bridge and kind of play environmental kills on first point.
You know what, Hero? I'm kind of excited to see that we've seen both teams lock already, and it's not Farah for the first time in my life. I'm actually excited to see an Ashe. These long sight lines are pretty good for the Hero on this map, especially with no Widowmaker. And you're seeing kind of Mercy get mandated in, whether it is Farah or Ashe, just because the damage boost applied to either of them is maybe not necessary, but it helps so much with anything they're trying to do. But potentially for the first time, we're seeing both teams lock Echo. I was going to say the same thing! I saw it, I was like, what? Where's this Echo May?
30 seconds.
Interesting.
Lorex deciding to come fresh off the bench, ready to play, and just maybe this is what they've been doing. And at the same time, this is the last Echo gameplay we're going to be able to see, as Echo is banned this week. So technically, since we are still operating off of last week's bans, but it'll be interesting to see what gets copied, and it doesn't look like any early attempts at a hold here. It looks like they're going to play passive around this first corner.
Attackers incoming.
Yeah, it's very close hold here. We'll see how this goes. We're just seeing some interesting fighting here. Just on the corner here. Nothing too crazy yet. Seeing Raven actually pretty overextended. Raven actually comes down very quickly. But a big anti found out. They melted by Sway, and Lorax is also beat down very early. Helix goes down, and that's just a quick team fight from Game of Thrones.
seems like a miscommunication. Everybody else on the side of Void backed up, but Raven just kind of left in the front line alone. And now they might not even get a really good weekend test here. It looks like they're just giving up point A.
Yeah, and that's huge for momentum for this team. I think that's very big for momentum. Capping that first point with 5.5 minutes still in the bank, that's huge. No switches out. Actually, we do see a switch. Sorry, I had a huge cutout there. I was talking and I don't know what happened. I apologize. But we're seeing Baptiste get put on and immediately go down in this fight. And it's res. Shane goes down, Mirror Lee goes down, and that's another quick team fight. Sway finds 3 with the beams! And a quick team kill! Game of Thrones is just out here. They're rolling through this Rialto point here.
Yes, the Dire Raven fluxing in spawn?
Gets stressed, contained there. Doesn't find anything out of it though. But Sway finds Dire Raven, and Shade also goes down and they try to commit. And there's a commit to the freeze here as well. Gets 3 people in there, but we have the coalescence to keep them up. She's just contesting point. Monkey Fly May on the May, just trying to keep point alive. Immediately goes down. A quick ult there. Oh, it was Sway popping ult because gonna go right back after copying the Orisa. We had 2 Orisas there for a minute.
Yeah, one thing that's interesting about Orisa getting copied, you don't realize, as there's still just actually a fight going on. Backers coming through.
Raven is just continuously being kicked off early in these fights. We see Monkey switch off and go on to the Pharah from May. Merely actually switches from Mercy to Moira, so we'll see. Actually, we do still see the Moira gameplay, and 5.5 minutes in this bank. This team is just rolling.
Absolutely filthy. I think Lorax has to come up big with this Echo duplicate, or it could just be the fastest Rialto time I've ever seen.
Yeah, let's see how it goes. Raven's still pretty early. Stress gets them, and they pop the bongos immediately. Like 3 quick kills with 4 goes down without even getting the payoff. Raven goes down, and Helix goes down. All that's left on point is the Moira merely finds that as a team kill and a 4-minute 57 bank for Game of Thrones.
I mean, I'm absolutely speechless. It seemed like Void, they've just all of a sudden disconnected. That halftime hit, those 5 minutes came through, and all of their synergy, everything they've been working with so far tonight, it all just kind of crumbled. And this went from 2 well-coordinated teams fighting against each other to a ranked match against an extremely well-coordinated team. And then also just Sway popping off on that Echo, dealing the damage where it was needed.
Yeah, extreme value from Echo on this point. As you saw both teams insta-lock it, it's interesting to see them. I'm definitely enjoying the fact that Echo is here and Echo's doing some work, especially for Sway. Coming in after map 2, not doing much on map 1.
I'd like to quickly acknowledge we actually have Levi, who had to go, is just begging his team to hold. Levi, it seems as though you left and your team has just kind of crumbled for some reason, but at the same time, they could just run it back. It's not over till it's over, as they say, as now Void seems to be hovering over Dive. Actual Dive.
And we're gonna see, yeah, we're gonna see Dive here, maybe.
Will the Winston spawn this time?
4, 3,
He's at the door.
1. Attackers.
We're getting Dive! Here we are, Winston, Diva, Pharah, Soldier, Mercy, Ana. Let's see how this goes for the team. They're just trying to shake it up, maybe get Game of Thrones off their game. As we see a big dive in, long dive in. Dire Raven immediately finds Sway. Diva DG goes down, so it looks like the dive is very helpful. Winston somehow stayed alive out of all that. And they're up 2 people now. And they're just going to easily push this cart. Monkey's getting extreme value off of this Pharah. There's the other Monkey jumping in. Shane going in on the Orisa. Getting a lot of damage off. That Orisa's getting real low real quick. Gets backed off, finds some help, but again gets super low. Again gets healed up very quickly. Now we're back to 6. Borax is immediately picked off by Sway. Not much else we can do here. Shane is immediately frozen and knocked down. The big switch from Echo to Reaper was definitely huge, I think, for the team. But we do see Monkey pick up Ultimate here. See how that works out for us.
yeah, while the first few picks did come through and they were able to push around the first two corners, I mean, there was just too much sustain coming from the side of Game of Thrones. They were able to outlive anything, and now we're seeing the double barrier get picked back up. But Borak's, interestingly enough, staying on the soldier here. I'm not sure what value is going to be expected to get, but potentially just shield break.
There's the fire ult! Huge anti onto the maze. It's 3! What do you think's on the Risa? Sigma and Lucio. Then Monkey finds a third with Wheezy. Raven cleans up on Sway and GG, and we have a big team kill. Quick switch off of the two dive tanks into Orisa Sigma definitely playing. They're keeping the Pharah soldier, which I think is very interesting. Not a bad pick. Because Monkey's getting extreme value. Shane gets pooped into the hole. This might already be a lost fight for them. They pop Cole as well for Game of Thrones, and they're just looking to find everyone else. That's a big ante! As they actually recover and find two! That's a humongous ante! Monkey is able to get in their backline now, trying to look for a couple more picks. It's on Darius. Darius gets antied. I don't think he knows it yet. Trying to find someone. Can't get there. And down goes the rest of the team. Monkey just really... Monkey would have peaked just a little bit. Might have actually found 2 more kills.
Unfortunately, deciding to play it passive there, and now we're seeing another hold come through. 90 seconds left on the clock. This barrage might have to be huge again, as Shane is just going to go down extremely early into this next fight.
Yeah. Not a good stagger there. They're going to just wait for Shane to get back up. The thing is they have 3 ults here. We have the barrage, we have Tac Visor, and we have Sigma's ult. Gravitic Flux is really good here. Again, on the other side, we have 3 ults as well. The Flux is going to get canceled out by Lucio ult. What? Will that be enough because of a distraction to get one of the other DPS to come in and just bombard? Darius is anti. Sway gets an early hit on the Helix, and I think they just regroup here. Lose the fight, regroup. Sway does go down. Let's see if they commit. Raven goes down as well. Shane goes down. Yeah, no commit here from Void. They're just going to back up.
But plus side is you didn't burn anything from the side of Void, so you're still going in with this game plan. You're also going to have Supercharger, so potentially after the Gravitic Flux, kind of use that to force out B, and then just Visor or Barrage combined with the damage boost from the Bongos. And that should be able to crack open this point.
Interesting DPS change, or healer change from Void. They pop all 3, both support, both DPS ults, right? Monkey immediately goes down, both DPS are down, they have to fight this now. Raven's in the backline trying to deal with Sway, and Sway gets the best of him. Raven goes down, Shane goes down, Nearly goes down, Lucio is going to try to contest here. Not going to even have the chance. And they force overtime. Switching over to the Tracer is Monkey, trying to get to the point. Does have the overtime contest here. Just trying to do something. Darius picks him up. Now we have Lorax trying to come in on the Soldier. Cannot get there. The rest of the team has no chance. And Game of Thrones comes back to win map 3 in a very statement fashion. That's a big statement win.
Outside of the first initial dive that Void had on their attack, it was just a dominant comeback here. And I mean, this is very dangerous for the side of Void now. I mean, like I said, there seems like they've disconnected, their synergy's gone. They might just have to regroup their mental, play it cool, and let's see if that map affects them moving forward.
Yeah, that's a huge momentum shift for them. And such a dominant win. 2-1 now. I think we got ourselves a game on our hands. We're into map 4, heading over to Assault, one of, if not everyone's favorite, you know, game type, right? Hanamura is what we're holding there.
Well, listen, I actually personally am okay with Assault. I'm just not okay with Hanamura. But you know what? It's where we're going, so we don't really get a choice in the matter.
You know, my Japan trip got canceled due to corona. Opportunity to go, so.
So this is your kind of way to make up for it, I guess?
Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Let's see how it goes.
We're going to see some more switches here. We're going to see Mira League switching out for Helix, so they're going to get a quick little support change there. And I think that might be the only swap they have. I think Game of Thrones should stick with what they have. It's working very well. Sway is getting extreme value on whatever they decide to play. Echo first point, or the first on their attack, was just insane value. And on the defense, that soldier swap came in real well.
I mean, yeah, it was actually just kind of filthy what Sway was able to do on that Echo. And I mean, it turned around the entire series because momentum like that, if Void does not have an extremely strong mental presence to where they're like, okay, we can lose a map, come back, that could just reverse everything done up to this point.
Yeah, momentum is crazy. It's like a pendulum. It shifts.
But I mean, obviously, besides the Echoes in that last map, we do have to point out, there was dive for a minute. It did work for a single push, and then it got, beat into the ground. Maybe just Void trying to show their flexibility. Maybe they flexed a little too hard. Whereas Game of Thrones, they kind of knew what they had to do going in. I don't know. It's very interesting to see these two teams match up because one team's trying to play passive where the other is always trying to play aggro, but they keep switching their own styles.
Yeah, I'm definitely enjoying the changes that are coming out from Game of Thrones. But no swaps for Game of Thrones. They're going to stick with what they have. They are listening to me. Both teams have signified that they are ready to go. We are heading to a map 4 and assault map Hanamura. Let's see how Game of Thrones handles this one.
Yeah, and at the same time, though, Void is still up with that 2-1, so Game of Thrones has to win this just to stay alive. I do believe the draw will give the win 2-1 to the side of Void, so it's not even a draw option. It's win or go home. And I mean, after that last map, I think they could definitely do it.
Right, because this is not a 1st to 3 win league. This is a old Overwatch League style. You play your 4 maps, score after the first 4 maps, and we play the 5th if it's a tiebreaker. So only option for Game of Thrones is win or go home.
Definitely. Obviously, the attackers can switch it up, but I don't think they're going to. We're probably going to see Sway rock out with that Echo once more. Meanwhile, on the defense, nothing really out of the ordinary here either. Just Lucio Moira is pretty much your support line. These teams mirroring each other outside of the Echo Soldier swap. And I don't know, I mean, it might make a difference, but
I think I would have liked to see a map from defense here instead of Lucio. They need them to come to them. Map is so much sustain. I think it'll get a lot of value with their tanks, especially how Raven and Jane have been playing.
Yeah, definitely. Or the Lucio could signify both these teams want to play in an aggressive style. As we're seeing the flank come through, whose wall is going to be forced first?
GG does get the wall up, but immediately is walled out. But the entire team is able to regroup well around the wall. Sway gets over the wall, trying to get some big damage, and they're immediately able to take the point. They might even get a tick out of this. Yeah, they're going to get a tick out of this because of the May wall. Helix gets in on the wall. Darius goes down, though, but this is not a bad fight for Game of Thrones. This is an immediately really good engagement. They may have lost 2 here, may potentially lose the fight, but they got a tick already out of this fight. That's humongous.
Absolutely. As the stagger picks are just going to come through here, the supports are going to be the last to fall. And while the tick was gained, and obviously there is a bit of an ult advantage towards the side of Void, I mean, the ultimates aren't that far apart. These are all recoverable numbers. Nobody has anything online just yet, and we've already burnt a minute off the clock though for the defense, or for the attack rather. So I mean, you can look at that as giving up a tick for a minute, or you can look at that as you gave a minute for a tick.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes for the rest of this. Immediate pick on the GG. That is gonna put this whole game on standstill. This push needs to just die right there. Wait for the May and go back to base. They're going to get the Cole online, but both teams now have Cole online. Lorax does have Attack Visor online. GG very far away from freeze, whereas Monkey is 80%.
Yeah, now you're seeing those defensive ults being able to come online. We have just over 2 minutes left on the clock here. They're going to be able to start using them to win these fights resoundingly now.
If there is quick coalescence out from Mistress, and I don't think that's going to get much value here. They're immediately kiting that. I think that was a really good kite from Game of Thrones. They're trying to get some big damage, and Helix is very low here. They swap into the Moira, trying to get some extra heals here. Moira pops coalescence here. Sway also has coalescence. They get double coalescence on there. even with double gold, Darius goes down. But Sway does find Mistress with Coalescence. This is very interesting here. There's the freeze. Wax pops open, is immediately dropped by Sway's Aura Orb. Monkey does pick off too. Helix does go down to Wheezy. It's just TGE and Wheezy on point. They have a chance here to actually do something. TGE's not playing the point there. Decides to go 1v1 the May. Monkey there down. Not much left here. See, the reinforcements are coming in. Monkey and Shay go down though. Wheezy and Darius. Wheezy is just staying alive on this point for way too long. There's the Gravitic Flux out. Pops beats it, counter it. Lorax is down there. Helix gets Darius, and now we're just seeing some staggered picks here. Mistress gets hit by the resolution. Not much here else. The pick wise, no one's gonna get low there. There's another! Wheezy gets another ultimate out of this fight. There's another Gravitic Flux. Doesn't find anything. Tried to get a boop off, doesn't get much. This is just interesting fights here too, well as the Lorax goes down to Sway, and now we're just trying to see staggers. This fight has gone on for about 2 minutes now. We're just seeing craziness. Mistress finally goes down, and I believe they're gonna crack this point open unless something crazy happens here as Helix finally goes down along with Raven.
Yes, indeed. It looks like it is finally going to go the way of Game of Thrones, and the worst part about that is so much was invested into Void. Void, they threw every ultimate they got online into trying to defend that, and now coming into this next point, they're gonna have to fight almost four ultimates, being the Bongos, both DPS ultimates, and the Beat coming online in just 10%, and I don't think they can. This could be a very quick snowball.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. 3 ultimates online. The Monkey is coming up on freeze. They potentially could build the freeze in time. We'll see how it goes. But there's her freeze. And they decided to go into a May of their own. Interesting choice in there that Sway's trying to build up. TGE gets Lorax. Raven goes down very quickly. Sway is 88% to a freeze. 89. Trying to get it very quickly before this runs out so they can pop it. 96, 98. There it is. And they get to pull out the freeze. Are able to freeze. Monkey decides to whip out their freeze. Primitive Flux is out. There's both beats out from teams. Darius is frozen on point. Even Coalescence gonna say, but Coalescence fights 3 picks and Shane, Mistress, and Lorax. Monkey goes down. Just Raven here on point. Sway goes down in that fight. They're able to crack this open, get a tick out of it, maybe even 2. Moya gets booped back. They're trying to get there. Doomfist is coming in on the left side. He's not gonna be able to contest because of a boop from Sarayeth, excuse me, and that is that for point number 2. 2 minutes 13 seconds there. For Game of Thrones, they're trying to make this a game.
Yes, indeed, and now pretty much the ball's been put back into Void's court. They have to be the ones to aggress, and it's going to be hard for them because they've been playing that more passive style. Sure, they've had the Lucio, but they've just been playing slow, waiting for their soldier to get picks, whereas on the other side, Sway's been on that Echo, being able to just kind of cause at least chaos in the ranks, if not deal insane amounts of damage that force you to retreat. And I mean, Soldier's just not getting that same kind of value from Lorax. But as we go into this defense here, I mean, Sway's my favorite hero in the game. We have the Torbjorn locked. And I mean, Torb is the meta. He's truly a powerful character. The turret, drawing aggro, dealing damage. Him as well. I mean, just the damage output. A lot of people don't really think about it. But he has the shotgun for close range, which I believe... I don't know the exact numbers, but it's an insane amount of damage. Can pretty much one-shot any squishy target in the game. As well as just the rivet gun's long range, as long as you can master the angles on it. It's pretty ridiculous.
I think Sway's having a great game here.
4, 3,
We're gonna see the defense with Torbjorn. We love the Torbjorn. Everything else seems pretty natural with the Lucio Moira, as we see that from both teams. Looks like Void is gonna stick with what they know. Same 6 heroes.
Same 6.
Big wall early. I think we're gonna get 1 easy pick off there, 2 easy picks off there. This fight is at a standstill. Quick disengage from Void, and a really good wall there from TGE to start that fight off.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's one of the most absolutely. I'm trying to find the word for it. Bad things, I guess, is just what we're gonna go with. About Hanamura is you only have this one choke to go through, so as long as a May plays it slow, and just walls one person off as they come in each time, you can generally get aggroed as they speed in.
Yeah, they speed in, they just cut off the Moira, but fighting the Sways, the turret, doing God's work by Helix. as they're just down without their Lucio, so rotating is going to be very difficult. So they're just kind of stuck in this room right now. But Darius overextends and actually dies there. Now they pop Coalescence to try to crack this open. They do find Shane, so that is a key pickoff for them. They could have potentially lost it. But Lorax finds TGE there. They're even. Helix comes back, and without an Orisa, I think both sides without Orisa potentially have a Mistress pop Coalescence. They're up 4-5. Sway trying to find something in the corner here. Hopefully helping out his team. We have a big wall off. They're gonna free Stress. Stress is gonna be close. Stress actually pops ult. Gets a big ult on Monkey. Stress goes down. Darius gets picked off by Visor along with Wheezy, and Sway goes down to Helix. They're gonna crack this point open, but use not very many ults in the process. They use Cole. They use Tac Visor. They're gonna have Bongos, Sig, Gravitic Flux up, Freeze up. TG is gonna have his up. Sway's gonna have Molten Core, but I don't know. It's gonna be an interesting fight here. As it's more even on the ultimate side.
Definitely, and the B drop probably gonna be this area. Quickly like to highlight the chat before we get to the next fight. 100 bits. It's from L. Beat him out by it, and then I mean.
I'm missing everything. Everything got cut out there for me. I don't know what happened. But we saw the Molten Core get popped off and find a perfect hit. As Stress finds Lorax, they're down. Monkey is also picked off there. Freeze on the Dire Raven finishes that fight off. Shane gets put down and Lorax just gets out. Even though the Lucio wants blood, Zariath wants blood. Can't find it though. Helix does get picked off there by TGE. But that's an interesting stagger.
Definitely, and the only ultimate use from either side in that fight was the Molten Core. So now we're about to have an ult palooza as we're going into this next fight. I think 5 up on both sides. Molten Core and Visor still a bit away on each, but those can be built. But otherwise, everything's just going to kind of be thrown in this one as they're approaching the high ground.
Helix gets walled off, but it doesn't do very much because he is losing. But he does climb up the wall too slowly. Both freezes come out from both teams. Both Coles come out from both teams now. We're seeing some Ultipalooza. Dire Raven actually goes down here on the push. Shane goes down, and this push is, again, put in another standstill.
It's the bane of every player's existence. The 2CP, once you lose one on your attack, you just have to reset. Like that pick on the TGE, while it is good for your ult charge since you're trying to rebuild it, it's just not gonna matter because the defense is so heavily favored here. And with only 3 minutes left on the clock, you gotta start looking at, do you keep approaching this high ground, trying to fight it there, because you're just being met with ultimates every single time.
I think serious. So when they get walled, they need to. I think they need to end fights a little quicker. They're just letting nothing comes out from the flux, but they do pop. Both bongos are popped. There's Shane getting Darius Fulton, and Monkey gets CGE, and we see exchanges there. Big block off the Sigma actually is blocked off the turret. Line of sight. Turret goes down. Raven finds Sway, and we're seeing them actually crack this point open. Stress is low there. They actually pop beat to keep him alive. Huge play. There's Stress. Stress goes down. David fighting against Biggs. Here, then Burax comes in with the attack visor. Trying to find a couple Bigs here. Trying to get Zariath there. GG low. Zariath is next on the list. Does not get picked up. There's Molten Core coming out from Sway. Trying to find something. Dire Raven eats a little bit of it. And Stress coming in with the Gravitic Flux. Finds 4 people. 2 of them immediately are able to go down. Both 2 people swim very hard though. Burax finds Sway's turret. We see Weezy popping out with that ult. They actually are able to come back and pick off 2 more. 2 minutes left on the clock, and this attack is just put at a standstill. No 6 stones for it. Darius finds Shane, Weezy finds Lorax, Weezy also finds Mistress, and that is the end of that push. They're able to recover nicely.
Yeah, I mean, once the dust settles, it looks as though ultimates were exchanged, but going into this next one for the side of Void, you have your Blizzard, your Gravitic Flux is going to be back online, and at the very least, you force Darius to reset Bongo Charge by switching to Hammond, but there's still a Blizzard to worry about on the other side. I mean, but you do have a window now for Dire Raven. If they can build this Gravitic Flux up quick, there's no beat drop on the other side. It's a huge damage hit for the final attack.
Yep, there's a quick freeze from Monkey. They're trying to find something. Stress is trapped in the corner. Lorax doesn't even see them. Stress gets out! How did Stress survive that? Stress still by himself, not a still that freaking out. They're so focused on everyone else. There's a big gravitic flux there. Freeze comes out from TGE. Mistress finds Wheezy, and that looks like it's gonna be rough. Dire Raven actually goes down. Monkey Fly goes down as well. They need to end the fight now. Die or get out and try to reset and get another fight in. They decide to commit an ult here. Shane commits his ult. They do find a couple here. But with spawn advantage, not having all 6 is very difficult here. 2 supports and an Orisa may not be enough. They've decided to commit Beat as well. It's the last fight now. They've already committed. Beat comes out from both teams. The Black's coming back in on Echo. They're getting reinforcements coming from both teams. Helix goes down, Shane goes down, Mitch goes down, and that's what I was talking about right there. The spawn advantage is too great. Lorax goes down very quickly, trying to build some ults, but they popped 3 ultimates there with only 3 people on point.
Void, as you were talking about, they just hard overcommitted into that fight. There's going to be Monkey and the Sigma trying to touch it at the last moment, but I don't know what they can do.
They're on point. We're going to see what we can do here. People are coming back high ground. May gets walled into their own May, and he finds that May finds Raven. We're on point. Raven just Lorax trying to build that ult, can't do it. Helix and Shane are the only ones left. Trying to find a quick little hit onto them. Doesn't get the great push onto it. Shane is by himself. And again, Game of Thrones coming through after the halftime break. Or Game of Thrones, I apologize. Game of Thrones. It's a Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones after the halftime break gets 2 quick map wins, and we have a map 5.
Yes, indeed. First game of the season, both these teams go into map 5, really pushing themselves to the limit. I mean, it was just very phenomenal play, as well as just, once again, mistakes being made from Void for no particular reason. I mean, I think it's definitely something to do with mental at this point. I think something's cracked, and they have to try to quickly reassemble it as we're going to our tiebreaker map.
All right, so we're heading over to map 5.
I was so scared my internet disconnected. I just heard everything go silent.
That's on me. I heard everything go silent too. I was scared as well. It's all good. We're good. Map 5, we're going to get another control. We're going to head over to Lijiang Tower, which we actually saw the first one in Nepal go the distance, in my opinion. I'm expecting a really fun, really great map 5 tiebreaker.
And I mean, maybe map 5, this is Void's time to shine with that dive style. Outside of the control center, this is a map where you can kind of do it. As we're seeing subs come through once more, Void is going to be taking Helix out and putting Mira back in. So, once again, changing up the support line. But, I mean, this map 5, Game of Throws, has just been absolutely ridiculous. Sway especially, pretty much on anything played. First the Echo, now the Torb. Just dealing damage and just carving the side of Void in 2 by either drawing aggro or just killing everything.
Yeah, we'll see how this goes. I'm very excited to see how Void actually adjusts to this. As we're going to see another sub here. Helix is taken out for this map, and they're putting in Mira Lee for the final map here.
Yes, indeed. And we're just waiting to make sure the side of Void is ready. They could potentially have another sub come through of some sort. But, I mean, just so far in the chat, we've been seeing you guys get hype, especially Elfie hype for the map 5. And I mean, map 5s are always exciting regardless of what happens. And so just in the chat, tell us right now who you guys are rooting for, who you want to take it all the way. And I mean, right now, Game of Thrones is looking pretty dominant in the second half.
They have all the momentum going into map 5. Winning 2 back-to-back maps and not having to deal with a break is huge. Just immediately going in, and we've seen basically a tale of 2 halves here. Void just seems super dominant in the first half. But Game of Thrones, I'm telling you, that first push on Rialto really changed the tides. It gave them a big confidence boost because they were able to crack the first point with 5.5 minutes left in the bank. and they just rolled through second point same way. It was over before it even started.
Yes, indeed. As Levi has decided to rejoin here for Map 5, and I mean, maybe that's the missing piece. Levi came out of the lineup, everything, all the synergy was gone, so maybe potentially rebuilding it all here in the final map, because this is the final map. There's nothing after this. It's either win here or lose here, and I mean, you always want to start off your new season with a win. You know, it just feels good, gives you that badge of honor, and lets you know moving forward what you can do to improve even further from where you are.
Yeah, and also in chat, I very much would like to see who you guys feel deserve player of the match. I'm very intrigued to see your guys' decisions here. Not going to give away my pick right now because we need to see who wins. I got one for both teams, so we'll see how that ends up going. But very excited to see how this game ends. Levi could be the difference maker here. We're going to see the beginning lineup. We're seeing what they brought out on a control at the beginning. So we'll see how this goes.
Yes, indeed. But the control at the beginning, as you said, went back and forth, and we are finally getting into it. I want to see which point we're going to go to first, because I think the points here could determine it. You know, if we go to Control Center, we're going to see a lot of May play, but if we don't right away, say we start on Night Market, which, speak of the devil, it's Night Market, you could run some stuff like a Wrecking Ball or the famous Sim teleporter strategy where people always love to get the nice camera angles of both Sims teleporting in at once. I mean, there is options to be had here for both of these teams.
Yeah, one of my favorite things when watching this, seeing both Sims TP to the high ground and them trying to duke it out and get a quick pick off the high ground from both teams. So we'll see how this goes. We are going to see Levi start out on this side. Sway starting out on the Echo, which honestly, Sway's been very dominant on this Echo in the second half. Had some struggles there at the beginning, but got the hang of it finally.
Yes, indeed. But the one downside is there's no Symmetra in play for the side of Game of Thrones, so almost certainly it's going to be Void getting to the point first and setting up. So I'm wondering how they're going to play around that, especially considering the fact that Sim turrets just deal a lot of damage to barriers, as well as Sim herself just kind of shreds shields and it makes her more powerful.
All right, well, it looks like they got to put at the same time. Very quick engage from both teams. As we're seeing a very big fight. Thresk is actually picked off early by Levi. Darius is going down very quickly as well. We're going to see Void essentially take this first fight. They immediately go down, and that's the end of that. Real quick engage from Void.
Yeah, they got there at the same time almost, but just Levi was able to get there, get some extra turrets set up to deal a little bit extra damage, and just force the rotation back. And now, what is going to be the play if you decide a Game of Thrones? I mean, you could just keep trying to poke with your Echo, try to build up an ultimate, but dislodging Symmetra from this point is absolutely difficult and brutal for me.
Agreed, and they immediately get a freeze off on the Arisa. TGE goes down very early on this fight, trying to engage, and you saw something I don't see very often when running Sim, is that this team decided to run off a point and was rewarded for it. And we have a pause here.
We do have a pause come through here, and we're just having a disconnect issue, so we're just going to go ahead and deal with that real quickly. But as you pointed out, I mean, the Symmetra, unfortunately, like, they're pushing aggro with it, and that could be another mistake that can be punished, because Game of Thrones has really just been capitalizing it.
The thing with that is we talk about Sim a lot, and we talk about the point control Symmetra has, and of course with turrets and everything, but Sim is more than that now. She inputs so much damage, especially in double shield meta that people are running. It's actually insane how much damage she can output onto the enemy team. So pushing out like this isn't necessarily completely out of the picture. Can be punished, but they also could get some crazy things happen like they did there and get the picks off. I think the only issue with the disconnect here is the fact that Levi's going to lose ultimate. It was 83% to the barrier.
Yes, indeed. But now also leaving his team down 1-for-1, he reconnects, because unfortunately he just reconnects back at the spawn room. It doesn't bring you back to point. And I mean, fighting a 5v6, you lose all of the ground that Symmetra gives. I mean, that's one of the best things about it.
Yeah, but they also got to pick off. So it's right now it's a 5v5. They did pick off TGE, and so TGE is right now in spawn. So it's not all bad. I don't think. I think that the hardest part about this is going to be trying to get in, and I think losing that barrier is the biggest thing. So we might see we might see Levi not come back in on the Symmetra. We might see something else here.
I mean, potentially you pick Doomfist, get in as quick as you physically can, just to try to give your team support. But at the same time, I mean, you could just play passive if you're Void, back up into the corner. You have the barriers, you have the Mei, and just kind of hold point. You can definitely stall out time here, but we are still just kind of waiting on this disconnect. I think there is a set amount of time that Levi has to rejoin before rules state that either they go 5v6 or it's forfeited. So this is definitely one of those situations. Unfortunately, we're not on LAN, even if we physically could be. You know, coronavirus does exist right now, so we all have to deal with the technology within our own homes, and sometimes it just happens.
Also, I believe with is there anything in the rules about a ringer subbing in after maybe like the map is played? They do have people on the bench.
They do indeed, but it just comes down to, but
the
rules don't matter because Levi has rejoined.
Easy.
So once we just get ready from both teams, then we should be ready to restart. But once again, Levi's not going to be with his team. He's going to be back at the spawn.
I don't think Levi's on the blue team right now. Can you?
He will be once it starts. Okay. It's a graphical, fun little
graphic
thing.
Suck. Got it.
Yep. As we are just making sure both teams are ready and we are good to go.
All right.
The pause is counting down 3, 2, 1, and I want to see if they'll get aggro with this.
Yeah, it's 5v5 though. It's not like it's 5v6. It's 5v5. Levi is gonna stay on the sieve. Shit, actually, that's what I meant when I said it was a 5v5. This is a very quick turnaround. GG actually switched over to the Reaper off of Mei, trying to help break this point open. Levi actually gets back as well with the teleporter. Trying to do something here, and again, their team's regrouped. Just a little poke here from Game of Thrones. Void is doing a great job.
Yeah, now they're staggering themselves.
Yeah, there goes Stress. That is it for this fight. Serious goes down as well right after. TGE not able to get out, and Game of Thrones is actually making some pretty poor plays here, trying to crack open this point. They just are staggering themselves in this mid garden area.
And especially with how long it's taking them to regroup, this could potentially be final fight here unless they retake. But they do have the ultimates, they do have beat drop as well as coalescence, and then Void's gonna be used regardless of who gets
GG! Shadow steps in early and dies very quickly. Stress goes down as well. There's the beat coming out from Sarius. There's both coals are being popped off. As you see Echo Copy and more on the other team. Trying to get something off on both of those coalescences. Nothing's coming out of it. Darius actually goes down. There's the barrier. Builds it so quickly. Sway gets picked off, and it looks like this is a lost fight for Game of Thrones. They're going to try their best. TGE comes back. There's the signal. He's trying to come back in off of it. Stress comes in. Picks up 4. 3 people get slammed immediately. Levi is not able to get picked off as they're super low. Stress goes down. Sirius is just contested point, gets put down, and we are one map away from Void stopping this reverse sweep.
Unfortunately, that is the case, but it's still not lost. You still have 2 more potential rounds of COD for Game of Thrones to complete this. I mean, now you're not having to worry about the Symmetra as much. Sure, you can now run it on Gardens, which is where we are heading next, but it's not at the same kind of power level that it is there on Night Market. And we're seeing the Faro once again come into play. Monkey deciding to take to the skies once more. Meanwhile, Sway grounding themselves back on to the Reaper.
Yeah, we're gonna see Sway TGE. This is more of a traditional comp from the side of Game of Thrones, but we're seeing Dire Raven actually playing the Roadhog this time. We're seeing Hog, Reaper, Vera, Mercy. So see how this works out for the team. Both teams are going to head into the white room. We're going to see a quick engage there as Bear is getting some health and damage in. Trying to find something here. Point control first goes to. Oh my gosh, Monkey immediately finds his way. Point control first goes off to Game of Throws, and they're trying to find something else. They're all bowled in. Find Moira. Tap one. Stress actually murders himself. The Sigma's ball things, and Monkey just finds Wheezy, Seriath. Darius goes down. TG goes down, and quick point control means absolutely nothing here.
And I mean, I think the real telling of how that point went is the fact that Monkey already has Barrage online just after that one quick fight. And if you're not careful, I mean, Game of Thrones, they have to look out for it. They have to try to actively counter the bar as the Moira. Moira, unfortunately, couldn't swim. She didn't bring her floaties today.
Oh, unfortunately. If this was that PTR Moira, she would have been able to fade out of that. Darius goes down very quickly. Two quick fight wins and not having his ult. They still decide to pop Coalescence. Don't think they needed it, but hey. Trying to find the staggers, which, again, team fight was already won.
Yeah, think about it. There's only one full team fight on this map, and everything else up to this point has just been staggers, and then already at 50% capture point for Void. I mean, that's just ridiculous. No ult expended, no nothing.
Yeah, we're gonna see another fight here. Monkey's trying to get a barrage off, but gets a meat. But his res very quickly gets out of the fight and out of the fray, and now it's even 66. Again, there's that. Again, Monkey's still trying to look for that barrage, but it looks like that Raven actually finds Sway here. Very close here. There's the barrage. Gets absorbed completely by Stress. But it's immediately dropped by Darius. Now the Raven is coming in and pawing Darius off the map. Trying to find people in the room. Does actually find two more in TG and Wheezy. And they can't do much more here. It's 85% here. Zarya goes down. It's just Sigma. Just Reaper on point. They're looking to find something here. They can't do much. Sway goes down, Stress is low, Stress is about to get contested, 93% on ult, finds his shield, Stress goes down, Soldier is gonna probably be able to touch, pops Tag Visor, trying to find something here, Monkey actually boops off Easy and finds GG, there goes the bongos placed down from White Room, Lucio goes out very quickly, Orisa has nothing going on, Sway comes in on Reaper, Levi pops his ult as well, they both contest each other, Sway finds the better hit, but Sway is still up and standing somehow, contesting the point, Wrecking Ball comes in, trying to keep this point alive. Sway is met to his demise by Monkey. Levi is res very quickly. Soldier comes in. Weezy is murdered by Raven. And we're just seeing some huge staggers here. There comes a beat in from Seriath. Seriath actually finds Levi. TGE goes down to Shane. You just see Stress balling out on point. Finally is met with demise. Orisa and Lucio somehow completely contest again. Darius is met down. Seriath still hasn't been touched yet. Sway is found on point. Finds Raven. Wheezy actually comes into contest, and we maybe see a point here, flip here from Game of Thrones. They're fighting for their game here, but Monkey hits two. TGE goes down. It's just Seriath on point. Seriath gone. Stress is the only one left, and Void avoids the reverse sweep, which is a crazy last fight.
Nah, that fight was absolutely ridiculous, starting somewhere around 70% on their control and just lasting well into overtime. I mean, truly great plays from both these teams, but it seems Levi just had the effect. Any map Levi was in, it was just Void was able to do what they must, despite Levi not really popping up in the kill feed. It's just maybe the good luck of the team.
There you go. Just doing what they do best, and we're gonna see Void start off their season with a big W. And honestly, Game of Thrones showed us a lot. I have to give a lot of props to Game of Thrones. They played a phenomenal game, bringing it all the way to a map 5 when it seemed like they were kind of just rolling over and dying. So, got to give them mad props for that.
I mean, obviously, we don't track stats here or anything crazy like that at OCC, but I'll guarantee you that is the fastest capture ever on Rialto here in the OCC because it was just ridiculous from them. But at the end of the day, there's always a winner, always a loser, and there's always a player of the match. And you've been kind of teasing it and talking about it. So while the chat tells us who they think should be player of the match, what is your player?
Me? I think we might have the same player. But I'm definitely going with the Sigma Roadhog player from Void. Dire Raven played phenomenal today. Honestly, got so much value on Sigma. And I have to say that very last point there on Hog, just was ridiculous. Pulled people into the hole, pulled people into their deaths, put Soldier and Moira in a corner and just demolished them. They couldn't do anything. Raven played very, very well that game.
I mean, absolutely.
Player of the match.
And while I do agree with you, I do also want to give some highlights or some highlighted love to the tank on the other side. Showdown Shane on the Orisa. Not something you always see in the kill feed, but phenomenal bongo placements. Holtz pretty much synergized always with something the team was doing, whether it was a Flux, a May wall, something or another. I mean, it's just little nuanced things. You don't always notice it unless you're paying attention, but Orisa is definitely a character that can hold the team together, and I think Shane just did a phenomenal job on it.
Yeah, someone else I really want to highlight that game was on the darn. They all left, so I don't know who's who now. It was the Ana player for Game of Thrones. He's getting very good antes, playing very well. Like I think Levi of Light was there playing very well. Came in, helped them win their 3 maps they needed to win the game. But I think there was so much going on from that team that they all played extremely well, and I personally think this was one of the best games I've ever watched.
Absolutely. I mean, once again, just shout out to these teams. And think about it, this is just week 1. We're going to be moving forward with so much more. These teams are only going to get better as time goes on. But I think that does wrap it up for us tonight.
That will be it for tonight, folks. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. We really appreciate all y'all in the chat. We appreciate all y'all home staying here and sticking here and watching us. Shout out to all the players that played today. Make sure you guys are checking out OCC on Twitter for all the updates and whatnot. And make sure you're hitting that follow button up there for the Twitch channel. And YouTube's down in the panels as well. Thank you guys so much for watching tonight. Hope you all had a great night. Any closing things you need to say, Mega?
Nothing. I mean, I think you hit every point on the head. Of course, we have our phenomenal producer helping us out tonight, Trippy, doing the great work, and then just casting alongside you, having a phenomenal evening, and I look forward to more in the future.
Can't wait. Next week, we got some good matchups, so we'll see you all then. Have a great rest of your night, folks. See you next week.